Hello everyone, this is Super Comic Girl. I'm back with another video. So I do videos several times a week, and today's video I was not going to do, but I decided to go ahead and do it because the Sandman, which premiered on Netflix on the 6th of this month, came out, and there has been a bunch of reviews. People have done videos about it and everything, and I am going to admit I have not watched a single episode of The Sandman, and the reason for this is quite simple. I want to read the first 8 issues of The Sandman so I have a better understanding of what I am looking at and everything. So one of the big problems I have with people who are in charge of doing reviews of television shows is 9 out of 10 they have not read any of the comics, or they have not read the book that's based on the movie or show or whatever. And so they go and they base their review on what they have seen and not, and not how faithful the adaptation is. So one of the biggest anger issues that came out years ago was when they adapted the first 2 Percy Jackson books into The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters. Now, I am going to say I'm guilty of liking both movies. But if you didn't like the movies, that's fine. I understand totally about that. I will say that I really did like the fact is that they did not do the whole Clash of the Titans thing, the remake with the shiny armor. They made it look more like it was Greek. And sorry about that. And I really did like that. I thought that was absolutely wonderful that they did that. So, a couple of months ago, they released a photo of the actors that were playing Percy Jackson, Annabeth Chase, and Grover Underwood, and the amount of hate that the actress who's playing Annabeth Chase got. I just shook my head and moved on because, I mean, what are you going to do? So, we now have a new adaptation. We have a new target of either our ire or our yay, and that is The Sandman, which is based on the 75 issue comic series of the same name. Now, there is a total of 11 episodes, and it's supposed to, as far as I know, it's supposed to cover the first story arc of the first volume of Sandman, which, like I said, I've only read 1 issue of Sandman, and that's because I have the DC app that allows you to read comics, which is great because I can read DC comics before they come out in the comic book shop, but I will still buy them because I like physical editions over digital. I just like to read comics on the app when I really don't have anything to do, and no, this is not a sponsoring. They have not come to me and asked me to sponsor their app and all that, but I got the app. So yeah, so they only have the first 8 issues of Sandman, so basically it was designed to where you read all 8 issues of Sandman, you will have a very good idea of what you're looking at when you watch it on Netflix. Now, one of the reviews was basically that the show was an utter failure. Now, the thing about it is, we don't know if the person has actually has not actually read the comics. We don't know, because we don't know what this person likes to read or doesn't like to read, and all that. So when people go and they read the review, they either will say, okay, has this person ever read the comics? And if they have not, why are they being allowed to review a show that's based on a comic book series they've never read? And I'm more into if he or she hasn't read the comics, why do they allow this person to review the show that is supposed to be based on the comics? Now, one of the things that people are saying about it is that Sandman has got to be the hardest comic book series to adapt to screen. And with as long as it has been attempted to adapt it to screen, with outlandish ideas of what Dream was supposed to do, like get into a fist fight and all this type of stuff. Um, Neil Gaiman gave the green light for the show based on, first of all, what people were telling him about what what Dream was supposed to do. And Dream is supposed to um, get his kingdom back in working order. And he goes through all of these, adventures and things like that, trying to do just that. We are introduced to Lucifer Morningstar, which in the comics, Lucifer is a woman. In the show, she's a woman. So basically, this order goes and traps Dream, thinking that they're trapping Death, but trapping Dream in this circle inside of what's literally a goldfish bowl. And basically, his imprisonment has devastating effects on the immortal world. In the comic books, they would fall asleep and not wake up, or if they did wake up, they were awake maybe a couple of minutes before they went back to sleep. One of the female victims of what's known as a sleeping sickness got raped, and they had to deliver her baby while she was asleep, which must have been very nerve-wracking for the doctors to be able to do this. Also, probably nerve-wracking the fact that someone actually raped a girl that was asleep, which I really do hope the person went to prison for a long time. So literally, yeah, you literally have people that they do wake up and they're walking around like they're in some kind of daze, or they're, So I did read the first issue, and I really loved it, and I loved how they did this whole premise. So, yeah, so I did like it a lot. Ouch. Ooh. So yeah, I really did like the whole idea. So Neil Gaiman was responsible every step of the way in the whole thing, and he absolutely loved what was produced. So when we go and we have an author that is heavily into casting choices, into the set design, into every aspect of it, they have to be double sure that their adaptation is faithful to the books. And a lot of people have said that they have loved it. They never, a couple of them said, "Oh, I've never read the comics. Now I want to go and read the comics." And this is great. I personally think this is how an adaptation is supposed to be. Is, okay, I want to go and read the comics, or I want to go and read the book, or whatever. But it kind of irritates me when you have authors that are creators that are very much invested in the successful adaptation of a book or a comic book series, to literally be told that their show sucks. That whatever. And I am going to say this, okay? I would rather watch Sandman than watch another run of the Justice League. Don't get me wrong, I really love the Justice League as a comic. I do not like the Justice League as a movie. This one looks a lot better as far as, okay, I'm going to read all 7 issues of the Sandman, and then I'm going to pay money to Netflix to watch the film adaptation, or the show adaptation of the series I just finished watching, or finished reading. And that means that I really am interested in watching this show. But it's insane. But I think that I think people really need to get reviews from people that, first of all, have at least read the first 8 issues of Sandman, and then gone and seen the show, and then say, okay, I've read the first 8 issues. This is my review of the adaptation. of those 8 issues, plus a little bit more. And this is my honest review of the show. Not, well, we all know, Mr. Wilkins, that you haven't ever read the comic book, but we're just going to let you watch the show and give your honest review, which is not actually based on I've read the comics. It's based on I just watched the show and I didn't like it. And I'm going to basically tell a bunch of people why they should not go and watch this movie or the show. Another thing that really irritates me as somebody who loves comics and crosses her fingers on adaptations is people saying, well, as Christians, should we watch the show? And they just summarize it in the first 1 second of the video, no. And literally you got Christians down below that say, I watched the show and it didn't shake my faith. So it's kind of like, what is the point of putting out videos like that when you're just going to have Christians that are going to watch it and go and say, yeah, I read the comic and it was great when I was a little kid, and I watched the show and it was just like the comic, or it was just as good as the comic, or whatever. But yeah, so you get reporters that say, you know, this show is bad. You have people that say, as Christians, you shouldn't watch the show. And then you got people in the middle that say, I watched the show after I read the comic and I really liked it. But that is, you know, whatever they want. But I am going to plan on to watch the show, and it's 10 episodes. They have dumped it all in one go. They are working on season 2. I really hope that we do get a full adaptation of all 75 issues of the comic. That would be really great, because some notable DC characters come out at the last issue, and everything. So this week, 2 days from now, I am going to be going to Comic Book World. They do have the first volume of Sandman, and I'm really hoping that when I go there, they're not sold out on that issue, because I really do want to read that issue and really kind of, you know, do that. But anyways, yeah, so I am going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoy the video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. I will be back when I'm back, yeah, so I gotta go off to work and make money so I can buy comic books and pay my bills and all that stuff. So I'll see you guys around. Until next time, nerds, read on. Bye.